A city divided, decaying infrastructure, functionality, and budget cost to make things better. A city known for its beauty, its culture, and its traffic and driving conditions. The city is a vibrant mosaic of history and modernity, but there's one thing that has been a constant thorn in its side. But for decades, there was one thing casting a shadow over the city, literally, the elevated expressway. This massive structure loomed over the cityscape, a daily reminder of past urban planning decisions. This wasn't just any highway, this was a multi-lane steel and concrete monster, built over 40 years ago when folks thought bigger was always better. It was a marvel of engineering at the time, a symbol of progress and modernity. Problem is, they built this thing right through the heart of the city. It sliced through neighborhoods, creating physical and social divides that would last for generations, cut neighborhoods in half, cast shadows over parks, the whole deal. It was an imposing presence that affected the daily lives of countless residents. And to make matters worse, the thing was falling apart. Decades of wear and tear had taken their toll, and the structure was showing its age. See, concrete and steel, they don't last forever, especially when the climate and winter's frost and salt is doing their best to turn them into dust. The harsh weather accelerated the decay, making the situation even more dire. Rust, cracks, chunks of concrete falling off. The infrastructure was crumbling, and it was only a matter of time before something catastrophic happened. Got so bad, folks were driving under this thing with their fingers crossed, hoping today wasn't the day it came down on their heads. The fear was palpable and the danger was real. Inspections were happening more and more, each one with more bad news. Something had to give. The city was divided. The urgency to address the issue was growing by the day. Some folks wanted the thing fixed up, keep traffic moving. They argued that the expressway was essential for the city's transportation needs. Others, they saw a chance to reclaim their city, get rid of this eyesore, and maybe do something good with the space. They envisioned parks, community spaces, and a more connected urban environment. The debate got heated, let me tell you. It was a clash of visions for the future. Newspapers were full of it, folks arguing in the streets. The controversy was the talk of the town, and everyone had an opinion. But then something happened that blew the whole thing wide open. A dramatic event that forced the city to confront the issue head-on. It was a hot summer night. Traffic was jammed up on the expressway. Usual story. Then, without warning, a section of the overpass just buckled, caved in on itself like a house of cards. Cars went tumbling, metal screaming. It was chaos. Miraculously, nobody was killed, but the message was clear. This thing wasn't just an eyesore anymore, it was a death trap. The collapse sparked outrage. Protests erupted across the city, folks demanding action. Politicians, they couldn't ignore it anymore. The writing was on the wall, or rather, the rubble of the collapsed overpass. The decision was made. The expressway had to come down. Now, tearing down a highway ain't like knocking down an old shed. It's a whole different ballgame, requiring precision and brute force. This was a massive undertaking, a ballet of heavy machinery and skilled operators, each move choreographed to ensure safety and efficiency. First, they brought in the big guns, excavators the size of houses, jaws snapping at the concrete like it was nothing. These machines were the workhorses of the operation. These things were chomping down on the overpasses piece by piece, sending chunks of concrete and rebar tumbling to the ground. It was a sight to behold. Next came the jackhammers, pounding away at the support columns, turning that solid concrete into dust. The relentless hammering was deafening, and let me tell you, the noise was something else, a constant teeth-rattling roar that echoed through the city for months. It was like a never-ending thunderstorm. Dust was everywhere too, a thick cloud hanging over the demolition site. It coated everything in a fine layer of grit. They brought in water cannons, trying to keep it down, but you can imagine it was a losing battle. The dust was relentless, just like the machines. Section 4, Dust and Echoes, managing the side effects. It wasn't just the noise and dust either. You had tons of debris to deal with. Concrete, steel, asphalt, all got to go somewhere. They brought in these giant crushers, machines that could take a chunk of concrete the size of a car and turn it into gravel in seconds. That crushed concrete, they used it for other projects around the city, recycling at its finest. And the whole time the crews, they were working their tails off. Long hours, dangerous conditions, but they got the job done because beneath all the dust and noise, they knew they were doing something important for their city. Section 5, a clean slate. What 5 years of work built? 5 years of this jungle of traffic and detour. That's how long it took to bring the whole thing down. 5 years of relentless effort, day in and day out. 5 years of noise, dust and disruption. The city was a constant construction zone, a place of chaos and transformation, detours and traffic jam. But when the last chunk of concrete was hauled away and the dust settled, something amazing happened. The city began to reveal its new face. The citizens got their city back. The transformation was nothing short of miraculous. Where that concrete monstrosity once stood, there was now open sky, a breath of fresh air for everyone. Green space started popping up, new buildings, bike paths. The cityscape was evolving into something beautiful and functional. It was like the city could finally breathe again. The open spaces brought a sense of freedom and tranquility. And yeah, the traffic, it took some getting used to. New routes, new patterns, but it was a small price to pay. But you know what? Most folks would tell you it was worth it. The benefits far outweighed the temporary inconveniences. Because sometimes you got to tear something down to build something even better. And that's exactly what happened here.